Hi folks, and welcome to the video on the Edexcel Applied ICT 2013 Jan exam. I'm going to show you how to use the spreadsheet and how I'm going to import the stuff. And you can see on my screen here I've got the practice data files ready, I've got the two text files, and I've also got the XLS, the spreadsheet. Now these are the practice files, they're not the same exactly as you're going to get in the exam, but they're so similar. Get to know the model, get to know the ideas, and obviously the way that these are imported, and then we can change the stuff for the real data when we get it in the exam, and also any extra stuff that we're going to receive with the scenario as well. So first thing we'll do, I've got these two data files. Now we've talked about these in class already. I've got that one and I've got that one, the H away practice, the home away practice file, and the fixtures as well. So I've got two sets of data here, and I'm going to put those into the Whitecap spreadsheet. So I'm going to double click and open that. Opens up Excel. I've got a couple of tabs down the bottom. I've got my teams one there where I'm going to work out what the package price is going to be for the team. I can only access and change the white cells, not the blue ones, so I'm going to move over to the Havering Whitecaps. That's our team. And I've got package prices here. They obviously can't play themselves, so there's an NA in there in terms of the away dates and the days that they could play. I've got my fixtures lists here, which I haven't imported the data yet, so it's not got all these bits in. I've got my lookups. Now this is the bit where I need to import stuff. One in there and one in here. Got my fixture dates, which are going to come in as soon as I put in my lookups. I've got the distances to travel for each of the different teams. I've got my times of how long it will take. I've got my customer sheet. Again, I've got stuff to do here that I need to put in. And the transport sheet, I've got to work out the total cost of transport, which, looking at the formula there, is just the same as that. So there are some hidden cells. If I select those and unhide them with the sheet, so I'll unprotect the sheet first, review, unprotect, password is Edexcel, yeah. In it goes. I do have some columns there which are white, so there is something to do there in that sheet. Maybe those cells will actually be there. Maybe this has got something to do with something a bit later. So equals N303, and it's got 0 in at the moment, but we're going to see a bit later. Again, some cells here that are hidden. They might be doing something. We'll see about those in a minute. I'm going to press undo, and I'm just going to close it all back up because it's going to be an important one later. And I've got the transport rates on how much things cost. Now again, anything in blue could change for the exam. Anything in white is stuff that you have to do, so you have to fill in these cells. Let's start off by importing the stuff. So at the top here, I click in the cell, the first one that I want to import the stuff into. So I want it to start here and end over there. So I'm going to go unprotect this sheet. Again, same password as always. Let's type it in slowly. And at this point, I'm going to go data, from text, and I'm going grab on my desktop. I think I put it there in exam, in practice data files. I've got the fixtures and the home away. I'm going to put in the fixtures one in the top there and import that in. Gives me a couple of things here. So do I want it delimited or do I want it fixed text? Well, I imagine it's delimited with a comma because we checked this before. Yep, that looks a bit similar to the file rather than that style. So next, how is it delimited? Well, it was with a comma. It was a comma separated value. You can see here it's split out these into columns, and they look about right. These are columns. They do go up to 20 at the end. There are 20 teams. Let's press next, and let's press finish. And we want to put it into C2 and work downwards. So there you go. Let's put them in, and we know it's working because we haven't got loads of errors and stuff in here, and we haven't got any errors down here either. So we know this is probably the right place to put that one. You can see here we've got the different teams and stuff and whether they're playing on a certain day. That's the 1. The 0 means that they're not playing. And we can confirm that with the fixtures bit here. We can see that Havering Whitecaps are not playing on the 4th day. If we found the Havering Whitecaps, we'd find out that they weren't playing there either. So there's little things there that you can check just to make sure that you've imported it right. Down here we want to put the home and away practice thing in. So data from text. Go and get the H away practice sheet. Next, and if you can remember that it was comma separated. If you're stuck in the exam, you can tick them all. It doesn't necessarily matter, but it is always good, to know that it's just comma separated values. Next, finish, and again it goes in there. Make sure you're selecting the right cell. Press OK, and all our data is in. So we've got all of that there now. That seems to be working okay. Let's have a look at the sheets just to make sure that there's no errors and stuff in there. So all of that's in fixtures. Yep, we've got the home and away stuff in there now. That's good. The teams, well, all of this data has been populated as well. That's really useful. We've got distances. These have been populated. Fixture dates are all in there now. Lovely. So we know the dates are correct. We know that the lookups have been done correctly. And any other data. Oh, a couple of values in here. Maybe we need to sort something there. Total cost of transport. Okay, well that's still as it was, and again that's blue. Nothing's changed there. There's no formulas to work out. Those are just set numbers. So the next bit, we need to work out this table offset. Now, when we first looked at this, we didn't really know what table offset meant, but then we said table offset due to the day of the week, and I had to click through and I had to look through all these different tabs at the bottom, and I found this one which has got weekend and weekday, and that kind of does relate back to the day of the week. So we've got that there, and days of the week down here. So looking at this table, it does kind of tell us that on a weekend there will be more likely to have people attending the game than if it was on a weekday, and that's kind of obvious because Premier League games and stuff do have more attendance on a weekend than they do on a weekday. So these are the number of likely supporters that are going to come in percentage terms, and we've got EG, we've got MT, RD, and PR. Now you will notice that if you look back into your actual spec files and stuff, that if we zoom down here and we go to there, we've got a nice little table which explains what EG and MT and all the rest of them are. So the ones that are fighting for the European glory, the Man Uniteds, the Man Cities of the Premier League world, they have much more supporters coming. Their stadiums are often packed, and definitely on a weekend are at 100% attendance. Alright, back again, sorry. So we've got the different percentages down here. Let me just move that one off. So we've got the different percentages here of the different times that are going to be at a game. And this is, I guess, a table. I know it hasn't got the borders and the lines around it, but it's still a table there. And we've got data in each column. So imagine this would be column 0, this would be column 1, this would be column 2 of the table. So let's try it out. Let's see what we can do with this. If we go to the customer sheet, we want the offset of the table. So we want in this cell to have a number, and the number is either going to be is it going to be 1 or 2, or is it going to be 2 or 3? We're going to see. I think it might actually be 2 and 3, because that's column 1, that's column 2, that's column 3. Okay, there's no column 0. I'm thinking in programming terms there. Column 1, column 2, column 3. So let's go back to our customer field. So we want to say if this is a weekend, and have a think about the letters of each day of the week. If this is a weekend, then I want it to show a 2, because that's the second column. Otherwise, I want it to show a 3. So the formula that we're going to use here is equals, and we've got an if command, because that's what we said. If it's a weekend, we want it to show a 2. Otherwise, we want to show it a 3. So we use equals if, and as soon as I open the bracket, it gives me a couple of things that I need to put in. I've got to fill in all 3 of these. I've got to have a logical test, I've got to have a value if it's true, and I've got to have a value if it's false as well. Which is fine, because our value if it's true, if it is a weekend, then I want it to say 2. If it's not a weekend, I want it to say 3. So let's have a go. So if this cell equals, and have a think about days of the week now. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, MTWTF. Saturday, Sunday, SS. So we could say if it's an S in there, if it's a Saturday or a Sunday, thankfully the day of the week and the weekend does end in S, does start in S all the time. If it equals S, comma, and I'm following just this bit down here now, there's a comma there, so comma, and it moved over, it bolded the value of true, so I must be in this bit now. If it's that, it's a 2, comma, it's a 3. So if it's an S, then it's the second part of the table. If it's not, it's the third part of the table. Press enter and we can see that that's gone through. So it does say, right, this is, and this is where we check it. We say there are 14,678 supporters, and they are an European glory team. So we would expect on a weekend, e.g. weekend, 100% of the supporters to come in. So let's have a look. Yep, 100% of the supporters are there. So we know that that's probably right. Let's copy it down. So I use this little copy down bit there, all the way down to the bottom. Just make sure you've got 2s and 3s again. Don't have any NAs or anything, because otherwise it'll be wrong. But you've got 2s and 3s. So this one, let's try and do this one. So this is a weekday, because it's a Wednesday. There, weekday. And they're a mid-table team. So if we look that up, mid-table team on a weekend, on a weekday, 22% of the people should come. Well, customer. There's 14,678 supporters, but only 3,229 are going to turn up. So let's do a bit of calculator work on that, just to make sure that's right. So what was it? 14,678 divided by 100 times 22. Well, that's absolutely right. So we know that our formula must be correct now. We've checked it on 2. You might want to check it on a couple more in the exam just to make sure you're right. Or if you know that this is the correct way of doing the formula, you can check the support adjusted by class, and that one's done. We've imported the data, we've done our table offset, and we've got to this point. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to do these cells, and by the end of it, we will have something that will work in this costs bit here. Okay, so video 1, we've done the lookups, we've had a look into table offset, and I've explained a bit of the model. All right.